Hello everyone, Elias5891 here with another KTANE module tutorial. This time we're hitting the number pads module. This one is pretty heavy on the edge work, so let's get that first. And to make it a little more interesting, I do have the widget extender mod on, so that there are more than the normal amount of edge work pieces. So be aware that that's why this may look like there's a little too much stuff. For this one, we have 1, 2, 3 batteries and 2 holders. We have a lit NSA, and then port-wise, we have parallel port, DVI, RCA, another parallel, a serial, another DVI, a PS2, an RJ, and that's it. Serial number, VH2, HC8, that's Victor Hotel 2, Hotel Charlie 8. This is number pad. Number pad is a keypad, a number pad. It's got colors for each of the buttons. These come in 5 different colors: white, red, green, blue, and yellow. Not a whole lot of yellow on this particular bomb. You've also got a clear button and an enter button, which do what they sound like. Clear, if you put something wrong on the display, clears it. Enter submits your answer, which you don't want to do when it's blank because nothing happens. But obviously that would be wrong. And the idea is the diffuser is going to convey to the expert what the keypad looks like, the color scheme specifically, and the expert is going to use those colors and the edge work of the bomb to figure out what the combination is. So let's grab one, and then we'll kind of go over the rules, and then look at the wheel chart, which is the part that gets a lot of people stuck. Let's look at the middle one here. As the diffuser, you're going to want to read off the 10 colors of the numbered ones. You can skip clear and enter because they're always red and green. They don't count. I like to read them in groups of 3 just so it's an easy pause. If somebody misses something, if I glitch out for a second, it's easy to tell, hey, it sounded like there should have been 3 colors there, but there were only 2. Makes it easier to get. So for this one, the colors are blue, red, green, white, 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 green, yellow, blue, blue. Now the second page of this manual has some final instructions, but it also has this wheel chart. This wheel chart is what gives people the most trouble, in my opinion. So let's actually cut away from the bomb and put the wheel chart on the board, kind of separate from the rest. And I've got it in paint for a reason. Now we're going to follow these 4 sets of rules to pick paths. Each time we pick a path, we're going to move from the inside out, taking a number and adding it to my combination, and maybe doing some other rules with it. For example, in level 1, if 3 or more of the buttons are yellow, then we're going to take the first path. And a lot of people are like, well, what's the first path? What does that even mean? The answer is if we kind of make a line going straight up here, say 12 o'clock. That looks pretty good. We're going to go around the edge clockwise, or we're going to go around clockwise rather, starting from the inside, and those will be your different paths. So your inside here, your first path, I'm actually going to jot these down colors so you can see them. So we'll do red, yellow, orange, and blue. So this will be so I'm going to color this so you can actually see it. So my first paths will be red, second paths will be yellow, third paths will be orange, fourth paths will be blue. So on my first layer, for my first number, I'm going to start at the inside, and I'm going to go clockwise from 12 o'clock. So my first path is here. This would be my first path, the 2. Now, my second path, if my rule told me to use second path, would be the 5. The third path, here in orange, would be the 7. And the fourth path, if I took it, would be the blue. And from there, we're going to go clockwise inside. So from here, On my second stage, if I had to take the first path, that would be the 2 if I had already taken the 2. If I took the 5 to start, go clockwise. The 2 is your first path. If I started with a 7, go clockwise. This is the first thing in the 7's kind of quadrant. So the first path would be a 4. And for the second layer, if I started with 8, and I took the second path on the second step, or the first path on the second step, that would be a 9. Likewise, if I took the second path on the second stage, depending on where I started, that would either be the 3, the 6, the 7, or the 6. The third path, orange, would be the 9, the 0, the 2, or the 3. And the fourth path would be the 0, the 9, the 0, or the 1. So if I was told to take, say, second path, then third path, second path is yellow, that's the second one clockwise. And then within this kind of subsection, moving in, I'm going to take the third one clockwise, first, second, third one clockwise. So 5, 0 would be the first two numbers that I get from my code. And so on going in. So my third paths, which only actually have 2 possible paths from here on out. So for my third stage, my first path would be those red ones, or my second path would be the yellow ones. And for the fourth stage, it would look much the same, only smaller sections. And I don't think I have to go around this circle any further to demonstrate that. So that's kind of what you're looking at. So your reds are your first paths, yellows, oranges, blues. Red, yellow, orange, blue. Red, yellow, orange, blue. Red, yellow, there's only 2. So let's actually do one. Let's see how this works. So let's get rid of all these colors. I don't think I can undo anymore. Alright, we'll just color them white. That works. Lesson is, don't do 50 bajillion things without having a backup. And we'll color it purple because I like purple. Alright, so for level 1, here's our actual thing we're looking at. Blue, red, green, white, 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 green, yellow, blue, blue. We can get rid of this. I just wanted to kind of show you the paths before we dug in. For level 1, for stage 1, if 3 or more of the colored buttons are yellow, well, that's not correct. We only have 1 yellow. What's the next rule? If all 3 of the buttons 4, 5, and 6, if all 3 of the middle row, the middle full row, are either white or blue or red, take the second path. Well, not only are they all one of those options, they're all 3 white. So this rule does apply. So I'm going to take the second path. So starting at the inside, starting at 12 o'clock, I'm going to go around to the second path. 2 is my first path, 5 is my second path. Let's go to level 2. And as soon as you get a rule, jump to the next level. So let's look at level 2 now. For level 2, if there are at least 2 numbered buttons, 1, 2, and at least 3 green buttons, 1, 2, just 2. Remember the enter that we had didn't count, so only the numbered buttons count. There's only 2, so that's not true. If the number button 5, that's your center, isn't white nor blue, isn't blue nor white, it is, so that's false. If there are less than 2 ports on the bomb, no. Otherwise, take the fourth path. So let's go ahead and mark the fourth path. That's here. So we're moving in a layer. We're going clockwise from 12 o'clock. So first, second, third, fourth. That's a 9. Take the fourth path. And if the top row of buttons contains a green button, it does. Subtract 1 from the first digit. So we're going to take that first digit of 5 and we're going to subtract 1. It's going to make it a 4. Now we go to level 3. If there are more than 2 white numbered buttons, 1, 2, and more than 2 yellow numbered buttons, 1, just 1. So Otherwise, take the second path and reverse the current code. So here, we're going to go clockwise. We're going to take the second path. So 7 is the first path, 4 is the second path. And then we're going to reverse that code. So instead of 494, we're going to reverse it, and it becomes 494. That doesn't change anything this time. Last up, level 4. If there are 2 or less yellowed numbered buttons, there's only one, so there is 2 or less. Take the first path and add 1 to each digit. So we're going to take the first path, going clockwise, moving in from the 4, that's 2. Or moving out from the 4, technically. The 2. And we're going to add 1 to each digit. If a digit's 9, it becomes 0. So this number is going to actually become 5053, adding 1 to each digit. That gets us through our 4 layers. That gets us done with this color wheel for right now. But we still have final instructions. We're going to do them in order. So let's look at them. Rule 1. If the last digit of the serial number is even, it is. Swap the first and third digits. So we're going to swap the 5 with the 5. Done. If there are an odd number of batteries, this is also true. There are 3. Swap the second and third digits. So we're going to swap the second and the third, the 0 with the 5. If both criteria above are not met, so if we skip both of these first two, we do the third one as kind of a make sure you do something. But we did do one of the above criteria, so we can skip the step. Finally, if the sum of all digits in the code is even, reverse it. 5 plus 5 is 10, plus 0 is 10, plus 3 is 13. That is odd. We skip this rule. We don't reverse. So we have an answer, 5503. Let's punch that in. Green light. Let's do one more on this bomb, and then let's switch bombs, because you'll see the same number come up a lot on these, typically. Especially ones that are as color same as these. So let's do this one as the last one for this bomb. White, red, white. Blue, blue, blue. Green, red, red. White. Alright, so level 1. If 3 or more of the buttons are colored yellow. No, we don't have any yellows. If all 3 of the numbers 4, 5, 6 are blue or white or red. That would be this row. Yes, they're all blue. So we're going to take second path. That's a 5. This looks familiar. Level 2, if there are at least 2 blue buttons and at least 3 green. We do have the 2 blue, but we do not have the 3 green. If the number 5 is not white or blue, that's false. It is blue. There are less than 2 ports on the bomb. That's false. There are a bajillion. Otherwise, take the fourth path. So we're going to take the fourth path. That's the 9. And if the top row of buttons contains a green button, it does not actually. White, red, white does not contain a green. So we get to skip the other part of that rule. Level 3, if there are more than 2 white buttons and more than 2 yellow. We do have more than 2 white. We got 3, but we don't have any yellow, so that's false. Otherwise, take the second path and reverse the current code. So from here, going clockwise, we're going to take the second path. That's a 4. We're going to reverse the code. That's 495. We're going to have to move quick because the lights are flashing. Level 4, if there are 2 or less yellow numbered buttons, that is true. We're going to take the first path. That is the 2 here. And add 1 to each digit. So this becomes a 5063. Final instructions. If the last digit of the serial number is even, it was, swap the first and third. So we're going to swap this to a 6, this to a 5. If there are odd number of batteries, there are 3. Swap the second and third. This becomes 5, this becomes 0. If both criteria above are not met, they were, so skip it. If the sum of the digits is even, 6 and 5 and 0, 3 is 14. It is even. We're going to reverse the code. So instead of that, we're going to do it backwards. 3056. And we got that one in just in time to double check it. So we burned through that one. We got a little behind there at the end. That's okay. So let's try one more. I'm going to let you have a go at it first, and then we'll work on it together. I know we haven't covered a ton of the rules. A lot of them just don't pop up every time. So let's see what we have edge work. I'll give you one. You can pause and work on it, and then we'll hop back in. For this one, edge work. 5 batteries and 3 holders. lit CLR, lit FRK, parallel port. Serial number is Juliet 59 Echo Delta 6, J59 ED6. The number pad, and I'll say it and then I'll pop on the edge work on screen. The edge work. Alright, the number pad is white, yellow, white, blue, green, white, yellow, green, white, yellow. So go ahead and pause. Take a moment to work on it. I will put up the edge work and the thing itself, and then we'll work on it together. Alright, here's your edge work. And here's what you should have gotten for the grid. I'll actually put it on screen for just a second. White, yellow, white, blue, green, white, yellow, green, white, yellow. If you get that part misinterpreted, go ahead and pause and finish up. Otherwise, you should be good to go, but we'll pause just in case. And let's run through this one. Level 1, if 3 or more of the numbered buttons are colored yellow. We do have 3 of them colored yellow, actually. What do? We're going to take the first path. That's a 2. Next up, if there are at least 2 blue and at least 3 green. We only have 1 blue, so that's false. If the numbered button 5 is not blue or white, it's green. It's not blue or white. We're going to take the second path. So we're going clockwise inside this section. 1, 2. It's a 3. Level 3. If there are more than 2 white buttons and more than 2 yellow buttons. We have 3 yellow and 4 white, so we do have more than 2 of each. We're going to take the first path. So in here, we're going to take the first of these clockwise. That's the 9. Last up, if there are 2 or less yellow numbered buttons, no, there's 3, so otherwise take the second path. So we're going to take the second path here. That's the 1. Final instructions. If the last digit of the serial number is even, it is. We're going to swap the first and third digits. We're going to change it to 9321, swapping the first and the third. If there are odd number of batteries, we're going to swap the second and the third now. So we swap the 2 and the 3. If both criteria above are not met, at least one of them was, they both were. So we skip that one. Finally, if the sum of all digits is even, 9 and 2 and 3 and 1 gives me 15. That is not even, so we skip that. So this is our solution, 9, 2, 3, 1. And we are done. I will leave this on screen. If you want to do 2 more, feel free to pause it and do it. I'm not going to cover these specifically, though. I think that's good for right now. I'll go ahead and solve them if you want to make sure you got them right. Having said that, this is it for me. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any comments, questions, concerns, or suggestions, you can leave them in the comment section down below as always. Otherwise, until next time, this has been Eliott, who likes getting the buzz sound, obviously. This has been Eliott. Thank you so much for watching. Have fun, have a great day, and don't explode. Bye, guys.